Hey there, gang. Patrick King here, coming to you live from a hotel in York, Pennsylvania. Today's question is coming to us from Nick. Nick says, I go to a lot of farms and see a lot of people and trainers, and he used quotation marks, using a lot of artificial aids to put the horse on the bit and to get its back. Can you explain when these aids are a good thing and when they're a bad thing? And can you also explain when you know that you have your horse through his back? So I'm going to break this apart into two different pieces. When are the aids a good thing and a bad thing? First, we need to understand what it means to have a horse on the bit. That's something that we deal with quite a bit in our clinics. Having a horse on the bit, I hate that term, to be honest with you. And I prefer to think of a horse being with the bit, or riding the horse to the bit, rather than having the horse on the bit. Because the idea of having the horse on the bit, for some reason, seems to have the riders thinking that they need to bring the bit back to the horse. And that's the exact opposite of what we need to have happen. The idea of having a horse on the bit is kind of the byproduct. On the bit is the last piece that happens. If we have the horse supple through top line, engaging through the hindquarters, mobilized in the jaw, and coming forward off of light sensitive aids, that's a horse that's going to come to the bit. And again, the horse that's on the bit, that idea, just by the term itself, kind of gives riders the idea that they need to pull the bit back to the horse. So we want to think, rather than on the bit, we want to ride the horse to the bit. So there's a very big difference in there. When we ride the horse to the bit, and he's soft and he's supple and he's engaged and he's mobilized in the jaw and he's soft to the reins that way, then coming to the bit, then we can actually engage the horse's back. So I think about this a lot like a ballerina, and I think of the bit as the ballet bar. The ballet bar is not something for the ballerina to lean on or pull on or push on, and it's also not something that we kind of heat or electrify to keep them afraid of it. It's a point of reference, right, for where they are in their position. So thinking about having the horse with the bit is thinking about having that steady contact, a soft, steady contact with the ballet bar. Then having our horse through the back is an engagement of the ballerina's core. It's an engagement of the horse's core as a result of understanding where that point of reference is. So the second piece of Nick's question, can we explain when we know we have our horse through his back? If we have our horse riding to the bridle or to the bit, then he's going to be soft, engaged, and supple in the hands, connected, not in a pulling way, not in a leaning way, but in a steady way. Then we know that we have the horse through his back and engaging when we feel that power come from behind, basically lifting our seat. I think a lot of times we kind of get that picture of a Halloween cat lifting his back. That's the idea that we would have with our horse coming through the back, really engaging through the hind quarters. You're going to feel the power there. And an interesting little piece about that, if we're sitting the gait, say it's a sitting trot or we're riding the canter, you're actually going to feel the hind quarters kind of surging up through your body. You're going to feel a little bit more even in the back of your neck in those sitting gaits when we feel the horse engaging through the back. Again, it's a more powerful kind of a lifting. A lot of riders, the only time they feel a horse really lifting their back is the moment before they get bucked off, okay? So we would imagine that we have that control and engagement and the lifting of the back as the horse is moving forward softly, quietly, respectfully, that sort of thing. So going back to Nick's original question, can you explain when these aids, the artificial aids, are a good thing and when they're a bad thing to get the horse's back or to get the horse on the bit? My answer for that is going to be pretty simple. You've heard my comment in a past video about the difference between horsemanship and bullship. I think the artificial aids for that are bullship. The idea of getting a horse relaxed through the body has nothing to do with artificial aids. It has nothing necessarily to do with the bit itself. It's the application of the rider's aids. It's the understanding of the bit. If we're relying on artificial aids to get a horse to understand the rider's natural aids, then we're doing it wrong. All right, so that's something that I want you to think about. And if we're relying on artificial aids to get the horse to engage his back, then it's just garbage, okay? And we need to kind of call that out for what it is. It's just garbage. If the horse is not soft and engaging because of the rider's aids, and that's the point of the rider's aids, are to control and to relax the horse. We've mentioned this numerous times. If your aids are not helping the horse to understand what you want and also helping to relax the horse, even in an engaging, energizing way, then you're doing something wrong. There's something wrong either with your philosophy about the aids or with your horse's understanding and philosophy about the aids. So that's something we want to keep in mind. Artificial aids, we don't need those things. Not to get the horse to come with the bit and not to get the horse to come through his back. In fact, the reality is, in the real sense of terms, those artificial aids are going to do nothing more than get in the way of the horse's real understanding of those things. So that's something that we want to keep in mind. I hope this has been helpful to you. If you found it insightful, if you found it helpful, please feel free to share this video with your friends, with groups, with whoever you'd like to share it with. If you've got any questions about this, please feel free, submit these questions to us. You can send them to us either in a private message or you can submit them in the comments below this video. Also, please feel free, send your questions about other topics to us, again, in a private message or in the comments below the video here. So, question of the day for you guys. We've got I think it's an awesome question. Dee Dee's actually spurred this question here for us. Who is your favorite rider? So if we're talking sport-specific, discipline-specific riders, who's the rider that you try to emulate when you're riding your horse? I'm really curious to hear everybody's answers for this. So submit your answers in the comments below this video. Looking forward to hearing them. So don't forget, gang, you keep asking questions, we'll keep giving answers. Thanks so much.